Hi, kindergartners. Today we're going to read our fourth book in our text set about communities. And before we begin that fourth book, I would like to look back with you at the three books that we've already read. So remember, the first book in our text set was about a firefighter named Fireman Small. And we talked a lot about how firefighters are helpers in our community and talked a bit about some other um, community helpers. The second book, Lola at the Library, is about the little girl, Lola, who goes to the library with her mom every Tuesday. And we talked a lot about librarians and how librarians are community helpers also, and what they do that makes their community a better place for other people. Then we read I Know a Lady. And I Know a Lady was really about neighbors and how neighbors can show love and kindness and care to each other. And that makes our communities nicer places to live when neighbors are kind to each other and help each other. Today, we are going to read a book called My Steps. And in the book My Steps, a little girl is going to tell us about the steps in front of her home in the city. So the setting in this book is in a city, and it happens throughout the year. So you'll notice a lot of clues in the picture that will show you that this book takes place in a big city, and you will notice a lot of clues in the picture that show you that it happens throughout the year. You'll notice the change in the seasons, the change in the weather throughout this story. So pay attention to those clues as we go through the book, My Steps. But also pay attention to the how this story talks about what makes the community nicer. So we'll talk about that as we go through too. My Steps. Here's the title page. It has the title on it again, My Steps. And My Steps is by Sally Derby. Sally Derby made up this story and wrote the words, and it's illustrated by Adjoa J. Burrows. So the pictures are by Adjoa J. Burrows. These are my steps, all 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do that together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can hop up from 1 to 5 and down from 5 to 1 on just 1 foot. Whenever it's a pretty day, I play on my steps while cars and buses swoosh down the street and people walk by on the sidewalk. Sometimes I know the people and then I say, "Morning, Mrs. Johnson." "Afternoon, Preacher Jones." But Mom always says, "Don't you go talking to strangers." So I don't. I look away. So I see some clues in both the pictures and the words about the setting in this story. That the setting is in a big city. The words said things like cars and buses swoosh down the street, and also talked about lots of people walking by. And we can see that in the picture too. At the top of my steps is the stoop where I play with my friend, Essie. Stoop. Do you know what stoop means? It said, at the top of my steps is the stoop. So let's look at the picture. Here's the top. This is the very top step right here. So this must be the stoop. Have you ever heard that word before? It's not one that we use very often. Every morning before Essie comes, I bring the broom out and I sweep away the dirt and the ants and the bugs and the glass if some got broken in the night. My stoop has sides, 2 walls made of bricks. 1, 2. When I was 5, I couldn't see over them. Now I'm so big, those walls are only up to here on me. So this is showing this girl when she was 5. She had to stand up on her tippy toes and stretch up to be able to see over those walls. But she's older now, so she's taller. Essie and I pretend the walls are horses, and we climb up and ride. Sometimes, when my mom's not looking, we stand on the horses' backs like the lady at the circus. Springtime mornings, my steps are shady, cool, and hard and smooth. If I lie on the top step, all down my back I feel shivery cool. If I lie on my stomach, I see crooked cracks in the cement. I pretend the cracks are rivers. Once I took a piece of green paper, I tore it into little pieces, and I crumbled up the pieces and made bushes all along the rivers. Essie and I like to color. She sits on 2 and puts her paper on 3. You see Essie? On 2, step 2 that is, with her paper on 3. I sit on 4 and put my paper on 5. That way each of us have our own desk, just like in school. But if we don't put away our crayons, that old sun can melt them, so they stick to the steps. It takes a lot of scraping when crayons stick to cement. Crayons are made of wax, like candles are. So when crayons get hot, they melt like a candle would. And that is not easy to scrape off of cement. Some days when the sun's so bright, it makes me squint. That means the sun is in your eyes, and you squint. If I ask and ask, my mom brings out a blanket and hangs it from wall to wall. You see the blanket? Then Essie and I, we have a shady cave where we sit and tell secrets so quietly, people walking by don't even know we're there. I have another friend. That's Nicholas. And when he comes, we all play Stone School. Here's how we play. I'm teacher first, because they're my steps. I put my hands behind my back and hide a little stone. Then I put my hands out in front. Essie and Nicholas sit on 1. Step 1. That's kindergarten. And they take turns guessing which hand. When they guess right, they get to move up to first grade. Oh, I guess Nicholas guessed right. He got to move up to first grade. And whoever gets to 4th grade first gets to be the teacher next. Oh, can you see who's winning the game right now? Looks like Nicholas is on the 1st grade step, but Essie is 1 step higher on the 2nd grade step. So she guessed right 2 times, and Nicholas only guessed right 1 time. Sometimes on summer afternoons, when the cement is hot through your shoes, the firemen open up the hydrant near my steps. The water shoots out and splashes down the street. Kids I don't even know come running till my ears are full of shouting and laughing. We get our clothes wet and our faces wet and our hair wet, and we kick and splash and run till the firemen close the hydrant. You see the fire hydrant right here? And the way that the illustrator showed that there was water spraying out in all directions. Those kids are laughing and playing. So remember, I told you that this book takes place throughout the year. And I've already heard our storyteller talk about spring. And now she's talking about it being really hot on a summer afternoon. So the season has changed. Ooh, and look at this. I'm guessing it's still summer. Oh, it's right after they played in the water. After, Mom lets us each have a popsicle, and we sit on my steps in our wet clothes and forget all about being hot. Summer is better than fall, and hot is better than cold. But I keep my steps clean even when Mom says it's too cold to play on them. You see the season has changed? She's bundled up in warm clothes, where the day before or the page before, they were all in shorts and summer clothes. But now it's a little bit later and the season has changed. Beautiful leaves, colorful leaves have fallen off the trees, and she's bundled up. It's fall. Before school, I sweep away the leaves. If the leaves were wet, I have leaf prints on my steps like shadow leaves. When I come home from school, the leaf prints are gone, but I have more leaves to sweep. I think it's really nice that she works to keep her steps neat and clean and tidy, even when it's too cold to play on them. She must really care about those steps. After fall, winter comes shivering in. I shovel the snow and scrape the ice, but that's hard. So what season is it now? It's winter. When I finish, my mom says, "Girl, let me feel that muscle." See, she's flexing her muscle for her mom to feel it. She worked hard to scrape those steps. Even in the winter, I'm glad I have my steps, all 5 of them. What could she do on those steps in the winter? All year long, she had fun games and activities with friends, but now it's cold and snowy and icy. What could she do? I wonder if she ever makes a snowman or makes a snow fort or maybe some snowballs to have a snowball fight with friends. And when I come back from away, I run up the steps like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I push open the door and I shout. Look at those big words. I shout, "I'm home." It's nice when authors do that. When they want us to say words louder, they make them a little bit bigger so that we know that we're supposed to do that. Okay, kindergartners. So this was a story about community in a different way. This story was really about a girl who has a special place, and she has that special that and that in that special place, she has friends, and she and her friends do a lot of activities together, play some games together in that special place. And she takes care of that place so that she and her friends can enjoy it. It's important to her. So I want you to think about friends today and about how important friendships are in our communities. So in our classroom community, friendships are very important. in our neighborhood community, friendships are very important. So think about friends today, and how to make sure that we are being good friends to others and noticing how others are good friends to us. Okay, I'm going to have you go on over to your Write About Reading activity after this, and I'll have you do some thinking and drawing and writing about friendships.